Kelly here, and I'm back with another video for Marker Pop. Today we're going to be using the Greeting Farm Sing Hello and Always a Party. So as you guys know, I am always a big fan of getting the most out of your stamps, especially when it comes to holiday stamps. I hate the idea of spending money on things that I'm only going to use for like 2 months out of the year. So this sweet little girl is actually Caroler from the Sing Hello set. But we're going to make her a little party goer. When I was looking at the set, there was the set has 2 big bears and 2 small bears in it. And I was like, that bear looks like the most darling little stuffed animal. And when you are growing up, I know I had Patty the platypus. She was a Beanie Baby. That was what I carried around for like a good 6 months. That's as long as she lasted. I was a pretty independent kid. But whose best friend isn't a stuffed animal at some point in life? So I wanted to use the sentiment, it's always a party when you're around. And I thought that that was pretty fitting with the cute little stuffed teddy bear. So here I have masked those images, and I am doing some distress ink blending in the background. I wanted it to look like, you know, when you go to a wedding or a party and they have the multicolored lights with the almost like the disco ball effect. So that's kind of what I was going for, and I think in the end it looked that way. So I'm just going over those masks, and I'm being careful to start actually on the mask. Since I'm not coming in from the edge of the paper, I don't want a big circle blotch of ink on my paper, so I'm starting actually on the little girl and moving off from there. And I've used Salty Ocean, and this is Abandoned Coral, and then the last one I'm going to use is Fossilized Amber. The reason I chose this color scheme is because primary colors always go together. But for some reason, I just associate primary colors with birthday parties. And I knew that they would be complementary. I knew they would work together to create those tertiary colors. And they wouldn't compete with each other or create brown or anything like that. So yeah, I think it worked out pretty well in the end. And here, when you do distress inking, whatever color you do on top is going to be the color that was most prevalent, and I didn't want the yellow to be most prevalent. Included in that always a party set is this little hexagon that looks kind of like confetti. So I'm doing some second generation stamping in all of the colors just in the background to kind of get those disco lights I was telling you about. And then I also, and my first intention was to just do the second generation stamping, but it felt like it needed just a little more variation. So in the end, I did go back and stamp a couple full strength ones in each color. And I just kept those a little bit closer to the image, so it kind of faded off into that white background. And that's something that you can do, you know, anytime to make a background a little bit more interesting, is add a smaller image or multiples of a smaller image. So here we are going to go ahead and pull the masks up. We're going to start the Copic coloring. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of it. This is a 20-minute long video, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know that I have 20 minutes worth of anything to say at any given moment. So I like to start with my lightest color and then work out to my darkest color. I'm using just small flicking motions. That's how I feel I get the best blend. And I'm just going right over her eyes because I know I'm going to fill that back in with a white gel pen, so it's going to be fine. I toyed around with kind of giving her a nose, and then it didn't really work out. Here's where things got a little interesting. I wanted her eyes to have a little bit more shape, but when I put down the marker, I didn't make them round enough, so they ended up kind of looking like strange little eyebrows. Yeah, it just did not work out for me. But I had already put so much into this card, I wasn't going to walk away from it. So I just kept working on it until I found a way to kind of take away from it so it wasn't as prevalent. And then I felt like it was okay. Like I could live with it. But yeah, the more Copic ink that you put down, the higher your chance of bleeding is. and I put a ton of ink on her face because I was trying to figure out how I was going to fix my strange little eyebrows. So in the end, when I'm done doing it, it does look very dark, but as you add more color, those will, it will appear lighter. Just it's right now because it's against that stark white. And here's like the last time, like I've decided I'm just going to go in and add more shading and take away from my strange eyebrows. I don't know what else to call them. It was really terrible. So I have to keep practicing with that little face shape until I find something that I like, because I did not like this. Yeah, so I'm going to turn on just a little bit of music for you guys to listen to because, like I said, it is a very long video. I know a lot of you don't prefer to listen to music, but it's 20 minutes worth of talking. So I will be back with you once the Copic coloring is done. most of the Copic coloring is done. The only part I have to do is her little button, and I noticed that those marker numbers faded out. I used a Y19 and a Y26. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and draw in some ground. And at first it's going to look a little strange because that red goes out farther than the ground does. But when you are at those weddings or at those parties or whatever, the lights hit everything, including the floor. So I didn't want to just cut it off right there. That's not how it would look in real life. So just used a couple of C markers to kind of ground her and the little teddy bear down there. And then I'm going to add in some details with a white gel pen. I just stuck to pretty simple polka dots, and I put that on anywhere there was red. So on the lapel of her jacket, on the teddy bear dress, on the hat, and then on the heart on her coat as well. If you watched my videos before, you know that I always re-outline all my images. So you can use a Copic multi-liner or a journaling pen, whatever you have on hand to do that if you're interested. Just helps your colors pop a little bit more, helps you fix up any edges where some mistakes might have been made. And then we're on to the sentiment, which says, it's always a party when you're around. And that's what originally, like I said, gave me the idea for this cute little teddy bear. So I went ahead and stamped that down. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some clear Wink of Stella to those red areas, and then also to some of the hexagons, confetti, disco lights, whatever you want to call them. I'm sorry, I added it to the white areas, not the red. My bad. And then that is pretty much the card. It's just a cute one-layer card. I love being able to stretch those holiday stamps a little bit further, get a little more bang for your buck. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will catch you later. Bye.